Make it inside. Long time no see. I've been just dealing with a lot of different personal issues, but everything is kind of sorted out now. I'm starting this a little earlier than I had originally scheduled because I just drank a cup of coffee 2 hours ago and now I cannot sleep. It is 1:24 a.m. March 1st, which is a national holiday. And we'll talk about why it's a national holiday in just a second. But before we talk about that, I would like some advice or some little personal story time. Okay? So, I just had the craziest dream today, and you guys got to tell me what this is and what my mind is trying to tell me. So today I was trying to take a little nap for maybe 30 minutes. So I slept and I had this dream where I was wandering about in my neighborhood, and for whatever reason, it seemed like a little bit different. It looked a little bit different than my neighborhood, but it seemed familiar. It felt familiar, and I went inside this building because for whatever reason, it felt like the place that I should go, maybe my home. And inside, it felt very familiar, and there was already somebody. I don't really remember who that was, but that person told me, hey, this is your place before you move into your house. So I was like, okay, so this is like a temporary Airbnb type of situation. But it felt very home. It felt like it was my house. And it also felt very familiar. I had been to this place before in my dreams, but I started getting confused. I thought like, hey, I didn't realize that I was dreaming. So I was like, was I living here before? Was I living here before? And I started getting really confused, and the place was decorated in mid-century modern. I'll show you what that looks like. It looked extremely close to this particular picture. The colors were very similar to this, and I've never lived in a place like this. I've never decorated my place like this. So it just felt weird, but I've definitely been to this place before, at least in my dream. I've never been to a place like this in reality, but I've been to a place like this in my dream. And then something weird happened. I don't exactly remember what, but I woke up and I was in my bed and I felt stuck to my bed. I legit thought for a while that I was dead because I couldn't get up. And then somehow I got up, and then we have two stories here. So I walked down to the first floor, and then my house was filled with these bugs, these flies. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And my house was all like messed up and shit. And then I woke up. So I was dreaming inside of a dream about this place that I was pretty certain that I've been there before. So it was so weird. I woke up, and then I woke up and I was still dreaming about waking up after taking my nap. And then it took me a while to get up. And by the time I got up, 5 hours had passed. I was not that tired, but I slept for 5 hours. And it it was so surreal that I just kind of like was just sitting there still, kind of concerned for a while. Did you watch something recently that had a mid-century setting? No, actually, no, I had not. But the weird thing is, um, I had just basically, I'm like really certain that I've been to this place before in my dreams. Like this looks super familiar. It almost felt like nostalgic. It felt nostalgic, and it felt like, oh, I missed this place. I I don't know. I've never felt this way before. So maybe my dream is trying to tell me something, because actually the day before I dreamt a dream where my house was filled. Actually this dream has been recurring for the past few days, where my house gets filled with bugs, more specifically flies. And then like it's like a freaking nightmare because I'm terrified of bugs. So I wake up like sweating. Huh. Hmm. Dreams about bugs in general symbolize fears, anxiety, and worry for someone or something. I'm I am very anxious and uh anxious these days. I'm not at a comfortable state, but that was very weird. Anyway, that was just like a personal story. I figured like maybe you guys have an idea of what that means. Do you remember around what time in your life you have been at that house in your dream before? Actually, I think it was quite recent. It was a few days ago, but the weird thing is, in the dream, it felt like something that I had seen a long time ago. So, I don't know. I usually don't dream that vividly, but these past few weeks, I've been dreaming so much that it's kind of getting scary. But there you go. That was my personal story. More on that not later. I'll give you updates about where this dream sequence is going. But let's just talk about the news. So actually, if you go on to Naked Soul, you can see that our website has changed quite drastically over the past week. You can see that we have lots of news articles now. Very interesting. So Jin is working hard. So yeah, Jungkook says bye-bye to Instagram. Jungkook has deleted his Instagram, and he said, I just deleted my Instagram. It's not hacked. I just deleted it. And don't worry, I didn't use it. So I just deleted it. And he'll be hanging out on Weverse. He had 50 million followers before deleting his account, which is an insane number. But now that's all gone. I wish I had the confidence and the fame and whatever it takes to delete my Instagram. I really don't like looking at that app because it just makes me feel behind everybody. Everybody looks so happy, which is why I rarely post. But unfortunately, everything I have is tied to Instagram and my social media presence. So what little I have of it, so I can't really delete it. Yeah, Instagram causes mental health issues. I feel. Yeah. I mean, my feed, everybody looks so happy, and then now I'm like watching reels. Okay, so this guy. Okay, I want to shout out to this guy though. This guy, Enquine Kennedy, is his name. He's from Cameroon in Africa. Okay, so this is his handle. Okay, and this is like the only positive Instagram content that I see these days on my feed. So basically, he's a guy that's that's working hard, trying to make the MBA, and obviously you can see that his training facilities aren't that great, but he's trying to make the most of it, and it's very inspiring to see him work really hard, without having the privilege of having a proper training facility. Okay, I honestly don't know what this guy is practicing here. This actually looks kind of like a waste of time. Not gonna lie. What is this drill? What are you trying to do, bro? What is this guy trying to do? But like things like this, that's inspiring. And things like this. Yeah. He's trying to get body memory for how high the basket is. That looks like the basket is actually lower than a regulation rim. It doesn't seem like he's trying to practice anything. My sound echoes. It echoes? Does it echo? Really? Really? Oh. Comfortable state, but that was he's trying to practice anything. My sound echoes. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad. Okay. Okay. I figured it out now. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So anyway, that's Jungkook deleting his Instagram. So you can find him on Reverse now. Next, NewJeans is collabing with McDonald's, and you can find all these articles on nakedsoul.kr. NewJeans meal is here. If you want it, you can get it. But you know that it ain't for free. Very clever. So NewJeans is the hottest K-pop group in Korea right now. And honestly, I think this is a very nice collab because their logo, their mascot or whatever you would call it, I feel like it can look good on anything. And look how good these colors go through. Like the art direction here is fantastic. It feels a little bit like it feels surreal, this logo. I feel like they designed it so it's kind of creepy in some sense, but I like how it's much more integrated than regular McDonald's collabs. It has, what is this burger? Hype burger. Let's see what burger that is. But I saw you gotta see this. You gotta see this ad. It's very surreal.
얘들아, 맥도날드야.
Feels kind of creepy.
crispy, crispy, crispy. 얘들아, 맥도날드야.
Very cute. So March 2nd, Crispy Burger is coming. And I guess they're not gonna develop a new menu. I don't think they're gonna develop. I mean, BTS didn't make a new menu, so they're not gonna make something like a totally new thing out of this. But they're gonna choose a burger, and they're gonna make it into a set. So I don't know how interesting that is, to be honest. Like, I'm not like a McDonald's guy. I only eat it when I'm low on money, but for those people that want to like collect the cups and shit, I guess that's pretty cool. NewJeans special sauce. Yeah, I guess they could do a sauce. But man, no offense, but is it just me, or are these photos just really low res? Like, McDonald's, you have lots of money.
crispy, crispy, crispy.
Crispy. That's Danielle. I mean, this picture looks fine, but then like they literally did. This is a different picture, but look at this is so low res. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Attention. These are also cool, the BT21 McDonald's collab. Oh, now I want McDonald's. Actually, their marketing is actually working. Okay. So they know what they're doing. So there you go. That's NewJeans McDonald's collab. And you know who else collabed? Us, Naked Soul. We collabed with Hangout, remember? And we have some new Hangout products that we have gotten in our store. Let me type that into the chat. So you can use the coupon code FIRST20 to use the coupon code March 1st, March 01. We'll get 10% off. And Hangout is a streetwear brand in Korea, run by friends of Anna, and they're working very closely with us. And I really like this one. This one looks amazing. It's what would you call this? It's like a entertainer in the traditional Korean historical era, and they made this into a t-shirt. A female entertainer. Odong. And I really like that. The other stuff is cool too. This is all reflective material. And of course we have our Hangout collab stuff as well, like this one. I wear this nearly every other day. So you can get that in the link above, the shop link. And yeah, go check them out. And It's like a geisha. Yes, exactly, geisha. And of course, okay, going on to the next news. So use the coupon code March01 and you get 10% off. Speaking of NewJeans, we have Hani from NewJeans joining as Gucci's newest brand ambassador. So I guess like it's in K-pop, like everybody's a brand ambassador now. Like if you have some sort of name in K-pop, all the luxury brands call you up. And it's no surprise because actually Korea, like per person, like the average spending annual spending of people in Korea, the Korean, what am I saying? The average annual luxury goods spending per person in Korea is the highest in the world. It's higher than China, it's higher than America, it's higher than Japan. I believe it was about $420 in 2022. It's like 3 times higher than China. It's actually more than that. China is actually, there's so many people, so I guess the average is quite low. Whereas in Korea, literally everybody owns some sort of Gucci something. So Korea has the highest spending on luxury goods in the world. And that is for both men and women. So that's like the entire population combined. I don't think they divided it into men and women. But let me tell you that like in Korea, people are very, like even for men also obsess over luxury goods as well. I don't know if it's as common as it is in women, but they do. For me, like I went through a phase once in my life where I wanted luxury shit because like for the first time in my life, I was making more than like 20 grand a month. There was a point in my life where I made a lot of money. Not now. I'm basically unemployed now. Not doing a lot of YouTube or really anything. But there was a point in my life where I made a shit ton of money every single month. And I thought this was a very bad financial decision, by the way, guys. Because, you know, when, you know how athletes go broke despite making millions of dollars? Because they have no economic, financial knowledge and sense. They just go, when they're given like all this money, straight out of high school, they're gonna spend it all on some useless shit like a watch or something. So I had that phase too, and it was not a smart thing. But I only own like one Gucci thing. So I'm pretty sure like I am very low on the scale of average luxury goods owned. And even that Gucci thing was like $100. I bought it off of a vintage store. And I wore the shit out of it for like 2 years. It was shoes. So it had a hole in it on the sole by the end because I only wore those shoes. So for $100, that's not a bad spending, right? I wore it for 2 years until it literally started like leaking water. But there was a point where I was like, okay, I want to buy a luxury watch because now that I am making this money, I want to buy a luxury watch. But thank God I did not. I did not buy that. But Korea is one of the highest spenders of luxury goods, and people line up in front of like Prada, Gucci, all these stores, and it's kind of crazy. So it's I mean, like, that's not the only reason why K-pop artists are getting brand ambassador deals, because K-pop is globally, popular. But I feel like a big reason is because there's so much demand for luxury goods in Korea. Yeah. Yeah, and people know like all these brands. Honestly, like, I'm apart from that little phase where I wanted like a nice luxury watch, like a Rolex, and I couldn't get it. Apart from that, like, few months in my life, I never been interested in luxury goods. But let me just see if we can find a video. Look. This is people camping out in Korea to buy Chanel. People are camping out. Do you really want to live like this? You really gotta do this? People lining up for Chanel. Wow. So you can see why. Why it's like this in Korea. Are luxury items less expensive in Korea than the US? Actually, no, it's the opposite. Luxury items are more expensive, and the more expensive it gets, the more people buy it. So it's a status symbol, and they care about their image, so they buy these crazy expensive shit. And there's a lot of interesting theories why people do this in Korea, why people are so concerned about luxury goods. But the predominant theory is that a lot of the people that are buying these luxury goods, a lot of them are not like really rich people. They're actually just middle class, regular white collar workers. But the housing prices in Korea have gone up so much that basically these young people that are in their 20s and 30s that are making money, they give up on marriage, on housing. So, but they still have money, just not enough money to buy a house. So instead, they just spend it on buying Chanel. Yeah. How about the resale market in Korea? Is that even more high? Yes, there is a lot of there's a big resale market. In fact, there's a whole app. It's called 번개장터, and they have a specific section for luxury items. So all these Craigslist type platforms where they resell goods, they have ones for luxury items. But I feel like that's like kind of like StockX and those kind of websites. It's the same. But yeah, it's kind of a phenomenon. But yeah, a lot of people are mentioning the low fertility rates in Korea as well, and I'll actually be talking about that on Friday's Naked Inside. So if you want to join, please hit that subscribe button. I've done a lot of research on the depressingly low fertility rate in Seoul and in Korea. Just like a teaser, Seoul has recorded a 0.51 birth rate in 2022, which is absolutely insane. To maintain the population, the current population, it has to have like over 2.1 to account for people dying. But it has 0.51. That's absolutely nuts. So that means for every couple, like every two people, there's 0.51 babies. So for every 4 people, there's 1 baby. Or for every 2 females, there's 1 baby. Don't most first world countries have a lower birth rate? Korea is not like most first world countries. Korea is, the gap between first and second is extremely big. Like Korea is an unprecedented in an unprecedented state. It's like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. And the scary part is like the more of this accelerates, and the more news it shows up, like all the news is about like how Korea is about to, die out because no one's having babies. The more of that comes up on the news, the more it feels like maybe I shouldn't have a baby, because then they'll be just like born in a hellhole. Like they're gonna be paying taxes for everybody, all the old people. So it's it's a complicated issue, but I'll be talking about that this Friday. So hit that subscribe button. Yeah. You should definitely have a baby, Danny. You can live anywhere. Yeah, I'll be like, I'll be like, I won't wear condoms, and then I'll just pull out. But if the baby comes, then I'll be like, okay, we're gonna just have that baby. That's gonna be my baby making method. I don't want to plan this shit, because I feel like there's no, I'm not gonna be prepared either way. So I'll just not wear a condom, and then I'll pull out. But like, hey, if something slips, then and then like a baby's born, but then I guess that's like, whatever. Hey, just don't pull out. See, I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that though. So I think I don't want to like intentionally make a baby, but if it happens by accident, I'll be fine with it. That's my take. But but the thing is, like, okay, so I talked to my friend who's a few years older than me, like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he told me like actually getting somebody pregnant, getting a girl pregnant is actually really hard. Like he and his wife they have this app. They literally have a freaking app telling you when to have sex, the best time and dates to have sex. And he's like, it kind of feels like homework now. He told me it feels like homework because they've been trying for like half a year or something, and the app literally like gives you notifications. Okay, have sex in 2 hours. And after I heard that, I was like, if it's so hard to get pregnant, why am I even using protection? I mean, I don't have STDs, so why am I using protection? Like, I've been fooled my entire life. I'm not advocating not using protection, guys. I'm just saying in my situation, I'm like, hey, like, if it's that hard, if he's like having a freaking app tell him when to do it, and he's still not having babies, then it's like if it's that hard, then I've been fooled my entire life. It really depends on the age, especially of the woman, as far as how easily you will get pregnant. Yeah, I guess because like Korean people are marrying so late. So one of the problems is that not only are they having fewer babies, but once they have their first child, they're already like 36, 37. That's really like old to, start having a second child. So I remember like my mom, when she had my brother, I think she was like 37 or something, and the hospital like really warned her about like her health risks. So but now it's like normal. Now everybody's having babies at like 35, 36. So after that, like the second child, it's not so easy, right? But anyway, yeah, so I'm just saying, people have apps telling them when to have sex. But that would really suck though. Like I mean, I've seen lots of couples that have a lot of trouble getting pregnant, and then there's people that are like, accidentally get pregnant, and then they just I guess decide not to have the baby. So for some people it's like, oh, I really want to have a baby but I can't. But then for some people, I don't want a baby, but for some reason, usually we do know a reason, they have a baby and then it never gets born. So it's like, what do women think about having babies? I'm not a woman, so I would not know. Asking the wrong guy. Okay, last piece of news. Okay, also in the Gucci event, apparently ASAP Rocky wants to collaborate with NewJeans Honey. I don't know how serious this is. I don't think it's very serious, but
Okay, this camera please. Nice. One this way. Thank you.
does he know NewJeans? Is he a K-pop fan?
We gotta do the next campaign together. How about you? We gotta do the next campaign together.
We gotta do a campaign together.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Wow, this is sick.
Over your shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like actually anything serious, but it's just kind of funny. I think he's just like saying, hey, we should do something together sometime. It doesn't actually mean anything. Hani is so close to meeting Rihanna. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, I never would have imagined these worlds colliding like 10 years ago. But man, now K-pop is literally interacting with major American artists on a daily basis. Okay, so that's it for all the NewJeans stuff. Why is somebody calling me? Okay, my girlfriend is calling me. Now I'm worried. Is she watching this? Oh boy. That whole I'm not gonna wear protection bit, it was a joke. Oh, now I'm legit scared. Okay. She is calling me. That is very concerning. Okay. Oh, she's calling me because she wants to upload a couple photo. Maybe she can have a baby. What if she's calling to tell you she's pregnant? Yeah, she can have a baby. Danny Jr. inside. Okay, I hope she's not watching this shit, because man, that's like I don't know if I'd be happy. Is she pretty? I only date hot girls. Okay, guys. Last bit of thing that I want to talk about is today is actually a very important day in Korea, because actually it's a national holiday. It's called the 3.1절, and in English it will be translated to Independence Movement Day. And what happened on this day? Well, as you guys know, Korea was colonized by Japan in the early 20th century, 1909. And it was colonized for almost 40 years. And, well, the March 1st movement, it happened on 1919 on March 1st, where it was the spark of the Korean people basically starting to protest against Japan. Korean people, they gathered on March 1st. This small group of students, they gathered on March 1st, and they were together actually in Seoul in this park called 탑골공원. I'll show you a picture. It's still in Seoul right now. You can go there. It's this place. It's in Chongno. It's actually very close to our office and where I live. And right now it's like filled with old people playing Go and Chinese chess. But basically they were to gather at this place and then start a peaceful movement protesting against Japanese colonial rule. And they were very inspired because they were inspired to do this at this particular time because there was the Paris Peace Conference, which they were inspired by the Paris Peace Conference in January 1918, which, let me read this. President Woodrow Wilson talked about the right of national self-determination. I don't exactly know what that means because I'm not very smart. I slept through Korean history class. But basically, 33 people gathered, and they gathered at a restaurant, read out a Declaration of Independence. They were supposed to gather at that park, but they were worried that it might turn into a riot. So they instead gathered at a restaurant, read that. Regardless, a lot of people gathered at the park, and basically they started doing a peaceful march against the government, the colonial government. And unfortunately, like they were saying like, okay, we gotta stop this. You gotta stop discrimination. No special treatment for Korean upper class or scholars. Okay, yeah. So this was the official list of complaints, and basically they were like, okay, give us rights and freedom and also independence. And this movement spread to 2 million people nationwide, which resulted in about 1,500 demonstrations over the next few weeks. And the spark was the March 1st movement, which happened in Seoul. Unfortunately, the Japanese colonial rule was, very concerned about this, and they committed a massacre. And according to Korean sources, there was about 7,500 people killed and 46,000 people arrested. Japanese sources say there's only 553 people killed and 12,000 arrested. But regardless of which number is correct, it was a big event in the Korean independence movement, which resulted in Korea's independence movement spreading to other local governments around Korea. And also they set up a provisional government in Shanghai. So if you guys go to Shanghai, actually I went to this place. It's a provisional government. So basically it's like a makeshift temporary household. temporary government building. It's very small. It's very small. If you look at it, you can still go here. It's in Shanghai, and it's a very small house. And they made it into a museum now. But basically, yeah, they made a provisional government there and tried to gain the independence of South Korea. So that's why tomorrow or today is a national holiday in Korea. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. So if you go to the streets in Korea, you will see these kind of ceremonies be done. They're reenacting. They like to reenact the movement. So this is what people did. Like, they took out their Korean flags and they waved it on the streets, and that's how they peacefully demonstrated in 1919. And if you're in Seoul, guys, you should go and check these events out. They usually happen by the Seoul City Square or by Gwanghwamun, which is very close to Seoul. I mean Seoul City Square. Was the whole of Korea a Japanese colony then? Yes, the entire Korean peninsula was a Japanese colony. Korea only gained independence many years later, 26 years later, after the March 1st movement, when Japan surrendered after they got hit with nuclear bombs. So yeah, it took 26 more years. And I had a great grandma. Who was born in 1904, and she passed away in 2011. So that's kind of crazy. I had a great grandma that lived that long. And if you think about it, she was born at a time when Korea was actually independent. It wasn't called Korea, it was called Joseon. And then she, during her childhood, went through Japanese colonial rule, and by the time the colonial rule was over, she was 41. So most of her adulthood and her youth, she was living in Japanese colonial rule. It's kind of crazy to think about that. And she was 41 in 1945. And then she lived until 2011 when there was an iPhone. That's kind of crazy. How does she live so long? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. She was born when did Van Gogh die? Okay, much earlier. Okay, never mind. But she literally, like, the First World War, the Second World War, her son, who is my grandpa, he went to Vietnam. So she was literally like a living history book of modern contemporary Korean history. And then she lived through all those like dictatorships, like 20 something years of 30 years of dictatorships in Korea. 20 something years of dictatorships in Korea. So that's man, when kids say they have it hard, you got to see everything through my great grandma's eyes. She was born, and then her country was colonized for 30 something years. And then they went through war. Oh, she went through war right after being colonized. So when in her until her 40s, it was a colony, and then in her 40s there was a war, and then they were building back up from the war, and then they had like fucking 2 decades of dictatorships, and Her son went to Vietnam. Wow, that's kind of insane. Yeah. Wow. That to be born at that time, that is absolutely crazy. And then she lived until there was a freaking iPhone. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, think about that. In 1904, people didn't even have like sewage in Seoul. They were like shitting on streets and rivers. And now she died when there was a fucking iPhone. That's insane. So yeah, there you go. That's modern Korean history for you. A little history lesson and why tomorrow is significant. And before I end this and call my girlfriend, some new products we have at Naked Soul. So this is from a local photographer. Her company is called Wimu, and this is why you don't complain about mild inconveniences. Exactly. So I really like this entire brand's collection. So this photographer creates tote bags. Out of her pictures, out of her work. And we also have a fabric poster. This is very high quality fabric. You'll know it when you touch it. So you can get all these at Naked Soul. They are right here, and I have left the link, and you can use this coupon code. First 20 people to use the coupon code March01 will get 10% off at Naked Soul. I think backpack out of photos would be really cute. Does she do totes or other bags as well? So far we only have bags, tote bags, and also a fabric poster, but she does have other products. Oh, and this one, I really love this one, the cord cover. This is so extra. It's very extra. It's literally a freaking cover, like sleeve for your cords, like your cables, but look, it's kind of very aesthetic. So you can get this now on Naked Soul. So go check out that link, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Friday 9:30 a.m. is the next live. So please join us. And also you can go on over to Naked Soul and subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you could join us on Naked Soul's YouTube channel next time, that would be amazing. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.